Hey guys, it's day 210. Today I'm trying a new way of recording these videos. I'm using my phone instead of my computer since I feel like there have been some quality problems, so we'll see how this goes. I have been busy, guys. Last week I told you guys how I was taking a short side quest break from selling to keep my morale high, and that permission has kind of jacked me up, and I spent several late nights coding this week. It's just been kind of pure bliss. So let's just dive into it. It's been a cool week. First off, I want to say I've already resumed some of my cold emailing and selling. I'm not quite at the pace from a few weeks ago, but even just allowing myself to take a side quest kind of gave some of my energy back. I continue to research companies who have open positions available on their website, and they're using just a simple email address to collect resumes. So I'm pitching them my job openings hiring process as a freebie in exchange for their feedback. And I keep refining my pitch. Instead of copy pasting my email from each run that I do, what I actually do is I start a fresh email most of the time. And I'm of course pulling things from that email that I've continued to hone, but I'm actually typing it out in a lot of cases as a new email. This process allows the copy to kind of flow nicely and feel more natural, and I sort of subconsciously have learned things that kind of sneak their way in when I type it out like that instead of copy pasting. Success rate so far has been really low, but through my other efforts, I feel like cold email is still the highest chance to get this ball rolling. Another thing I did on the sales marketing front, connection front, is I joined a group called MicroConf Connect, which is a Slack group for founders. I'm trying to get on there every day and help a founder or two. And so far that's been a really positive experience. Multiple people have told me that they are longtime users of Mailshake. So that's my last startup. So that makes me feel really good. I've had some good opportunities to make some nice insights for people. So on to the building stuff. Last week I talked about how I was having a rough patch and I'm just struggling to keep my morale high. That's because all the selling and the marketing that's the thing that's harder for me. So it drains me faster. To give myself a break, I allowed myself to take a side quest. So it's a balance because you can't just build and build and build in your startup and expect to get anywhere. You have to put feet on the ground to get that snowball started. Product building is my strength, so I lean a lot on that, and I think that's good. So when I hit a wall with other efforts, having a small new product to push out is not only energizing for me, but it also gives me new chances to sell and market and to kind of gain an audience. So it can just puts more arrows in the quiver of getting things out there. And because I'm leaning on the product building stuff, it's more important than ever that my first versions of these products be tight and straight to the point. I can double down on anything if it gets good feedback, but there's no point in perfecting products that are never going to get any eyeballs. Having this break also creates the kind of environment for my creativity to spike. I spent several late nights coding this week just out of pure excitement. Those sessions, which sometimes last until like 3 in the morning, and I'm up again at 7 or 8 because I'm a dad of 3 kids, they're supercharged productivity runs. It's not something I can keep doing all the time, but in short spurts, it's really fun, it's productive, and it keeps my overall excitement up. All of those things are really important to keep this journey going. All right, quick apology for the next clip. I had no idea that the audio was clipping the way it was, and this is kind of the thing about having to produce these videos every week. Sometimes I've got to get other things done and I just got to draw a line somewhere and say, okay, this has got to be good enough for now because we just can't do it. And it's kind of analogous to, how building products works. Like, you can't afford to make everything perfect. You got to get it out there. You got to get traction. You got to get feedback, and then you can worry about those things later. All right, guys. So this is colinmakesoftware.com. This is my website basically to document this journey in addition to the YouTube and the TikTok stuff. I'm putting my values on display here, and for the first time, I feel like I've really had a chance to reflect on the journey since it's been about 6 months. This exercise gave me a really nice branding swing. I'm basically helping startup founders, whether that's through building tools to help them or through providing advice, tips, just showing my journey. And I love this for a lot of reasons. First of all, it gives me a really targeted audience. It gives me an audience that I know well because I am one. It's inherently helpful, which is always a good place to be, not just because you're helping others, but because by helping others, you're getting into those common problems where you can find product ideas. And also because it aligns my journey here with the products that I'm building. So it's kind of putting those things together in the same audience. The other amazing thing about this is it gives me the infrastructure to build out more products. So far, every time I've come up with an idea, I've got to buy a domain. I've got to set up the deployment for that domain. I've got to go through all these hoops basically just to get something out there. But by having Colin Make Software and being able to run products under it, like Colin Make Software / product, I can reuse all that infrastructure, making it really easy to spin up new ideas, especially if I'm just testing them out and I'm not sure if they're going to go anywhere. So that is going to make the whole iterative process just much faster. And I can kill products that don't make it, or I can double down on the products that do, eventually buying domains for them if they actually get the kind of audience I need them to have. So I just kind of want to show you the site real quick. I've got my value statement over here and a little bit of information about my journey to say who I am. And then I'm going to list all the products that I'm working on right now. So Snapchat is the one I launched a while back. Project Runicorn is my whole job openings and collecting resumes and applicant tracking system. And then Project Wiverna is basically a burn rate product that track income, expenses, and things like that, which I'm kind of toying with right now. And then under that, I've got key moments in the journey. I thought this would be really cool to just highlight some of the specific weeks where things took turns so that it's easy to get a top-down overview of where I am and all this stuff. And then in between these moments, these key moments, I've got this drop-down to give you links to every single one of my videos. And then at the bottom, I really want to have a way for people to connect with me. Specifically, I want to connect with founders or aspiring founders to help them solve problems. But really, I just kind of want anybody to be able to connect with me here. So this is Project Runicorn. It's the thing I've been talking about for the past several weeks. It's an unbelievably simple applicant tracking system. It's basically a script that organizations can drop into their website. It's going to show their job openings, allow candidates to apply to those jobs, and it's going to send them an email with each candidate. And the resume is going to be automatically converted to PDF so they can reply and engage right back to the candidate. So I purposely didn't create a landing page when I started this whole project because what I wanted to do was go straight to the customers, get customer feedback even before I had marketed anything. And part of that reason was I didn't know what to call the product. I didn't know exactly which values I'm going to have to double down on. So what is going to be the thing that makes this product stand out? I wanted to be open-minded about that. And by creating a landing page, I worried that I was going to hone in on something before I had the validation. But now that I'm doing things off of Colin Make Software, it feels a lot less pressure. I feel like I can basically sell the current moment, the current iteration of what I'm working on. And it's basically the sales pitch that I've been working on in my cold email and other outreach strategies. All of this information here is stuff that I've already put together from things that I've been sending to people. I've got a demo video that I made when I did these pitches. So I thought I'll just include that right here. And then also putting a live demo straight on this site. So this is actually Project Runicorn being injected into my site. These are fake job openings, but this is a fully functional thing. So you can review the job opening, you can apply as a candidate. So this is sort of a fake candidate, application process. And when people actually do this on my site, and you should do it, I would love for you to have this experience. Go submit yourself as if you're applying to a job here. And then you can see my thank you video when you hit submit. So you can kind of experience what a candidate would see. And so hopefully this is the kind of pitch people need. It gives organizations a chance to say, yeah, I'd really like this on my site and I'll do it for free because right now I'm just looking for feedback. Another part of this process was updating Snapchat to kind of align it with this whole new branding experience so that anybody who's visiting Snapchat can also see my products. And then finally, the other one is Project Wiverna. The thing I'm just starting to work on is this burn rate idea I just mentioned. So I have it in Figma as a design, and here's where I've gotten so far this week. I've basically been working on the sheet part of this where you can enter expenses. They automatically tally up in the appropriate spaces. They automatically project into the future. You can go, into the future a certain amount. I can arrow through this stuff. I can set these values and they automatically tally up. So I'm making a lot of progress on getting this going. I've got undo working, even though this isn't styled very well. I've been working on the undo and the redo and just basically getting all these expenses to function properly. And then from there, I'm going to build up the graphs and I'll build up the sales side of it, the income side of it, as well as the overview side of it, which is where the burn rate actually comes from. Still in kind of early phase here, but this is hard functionality to implement. And I wanted to start with that to make sure I was going to nail it. And then my plan here is basically, at the moment at least, my plan is to have this basically launch in the browser almost immediately. Maybe you land and it's already in motion and you can just make edits and everything will be saved to your browser at first. I don't think I'm going to have actual accounts on this yet. This could probably be a free tool that's just going to work on gating audience, but maybe it has the potential to turn into a full-fledged product. I'm exploring that idea right now. That will give me a nice tight version 1 is something that just lives in your browser. And then version 2, I could kind of expand from there and let you share with your team in view only mode. There's a lot of ways I think that could be expanded. All right, guys, that's it for this week. I would love for you to check out colinmakesoftware.com, especially if you've been following my journey for a little bit. Tell me what you think of the presentation now that I actually kind of have a packaged up, version of this journey online. And I'd love to get some feedback on this new project Wiverna that I'm working on. If you feel like I'm heading in the right direction, I would love to hear the comments.